Unspoken expectations. They are insidious and everywhere. They're incredibly difficult to spot because they happen so fast in our brain and in our bodies that we really don't think about it too much. We just know that we trust certain people when we're around them and we mesh well, and that's kind of just that. We don't think about it much deeper than that. And that's okay if that works for you to not think about it more often and try to figure out, what actually causes you to trust or not trust somebody. But the problem is when you then get into conflict with someone and you really can't understand why. You don't understand why they're not listening to you, or you don't understand why they don't trust you, or you don't trust them. Like there's some conflict there, and your brain will tell you a story of why you don't like this person anymore or why you're so angry with them. The brain is really good at taking past experiences and saying, oh, well, you felt this way in that experience before. Remember that experience where somebody told you one thing to your face and then you found out later that they meant something different or they completely lied to you. And so your body stores that information and says, when someone talks this way, like just in this tone or with these words, your body says, oh, remember that time somebody used this before, this word or this tone or whatever it is. Remember that they were lying to you. So now we don't trust this new person in this new situation because it sounds like that thing before. And oftentimes we pride ourselves on being right because we realize in the past when we had let things go or didn't listen to our gut or our intuition, we realized that maybe we were right and we just weren't listening to ourselves. So then we become kind of headstrong in, I'm never going to not listen to myself again. As soon as I get a bad feeling about something or someone, that's it. I'm done with them. And it's really hard to come back from that. So it's so important to learn how to ask good questions and to stay in a very open and curious mindset. And we're really not trained how to do this. We aren't taught this in a lot of our schools. We're not taught this in a lot of our homes. So if you're struggling to be curious and give people the benefit of the doubt, just know that it makes sense. There's probably a lot of experiences in your life that taught you that the safest thing to do is to make very quick assumptions and to always know exactly what you're talking about and not stay too much in the curiosity mindset. It's hard being curious because that means you're sitting in the unknown, and we really thrive off of certainty. But if there's one thing I know for sure, it's that nothing is certain. And I know that that can cause a lot of anxiety to believe, but it actually can be incredibly liberating once you do live a life in which nothing is certain. This means that all of those things that hold you back from doing the things that you love or the things that you're scared of, like having really difficult conversations with people that you love a lot, you're able to then walk into these situations because you're not certain of the outcome. You don't know what's going to happen on the other side, and you didn't set yourself up to think you know what the answer was going to be anyway, so you didn't ask. Our bodies are sort of the same way. They don't really stop to ask anymore, is this feeling or is this sensation safe? Instead, it says, oh, remember that time when you had a sharp pain and that turned into this thing? It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Your body knows that this happened over the length of, 6 months, but your brain doesn't even know like how that happened or anything like that. And so what happens is, like, logically, you don't really understand what's going on with your body, but physically your body knows, and it's going to do anything it can to prevent that long 6-month thing from happening again. Which means that now when you have that sharp pain somewhere, like let's say your issue is completely resolved, it was a pain in your back, and now that pain is starting to come back. your body quickly picks that up and says, we're not waiting 6 months to tell you that there's a problem this time, because that was way too long. So we're going to actually tell you in 3 months. Every day you're going to wake up with a little bit more intense pain until we reach that 3-month mark that says, like, this is it, send the fire alarms, send them off. And then over time, what happens is it's no longer 3 months, it's 3 weeks, and then it's 3 days, and then it's 3 hours. And a lot of times we see this with chronic health conditions that, especially ones that affect our energy levels. Our body is just trying to keep us safe. And so a big part of work as a therapist who works with chronic pain is really starting to figure out where your fears are in your body. And your brain often just doesn't know. So that's why we do a lot of body-based work. We do a little bit of somatic experiencing and a lot of compassionate inquiry into what's happening inside of your body. This takes so much time and effort because we have a lot of defense mechanisms, a lot of things that we've grown up learning over time that just keep us safe. And sometimes we know what those things are cognitively in our brain. We can speak them very clearly, but other times we don't know. And it's very it's in here. So that's all I have today for this topic, but I do plan on trying to post more frequently and trying to post more about how our defense mechanisms come into play when we're dealing with our chronic illnesses and chronic pain. So if there's anything that comes up for you, questions that you have, please drop them below. If you don't want to openly ask them in the comment section below, I completely understand that. You can also email me, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'm happy to I can't give you any medical or therapeutic advice, but what I can do is take your question and then use it to create a new video that gives general education about this particular topic. So keep that in mind. If anybody is telling you specific advice about your specific situation online, they don't know you. They don't have enough information about you. I wouldn't have enough information about you. So just tread lightly and know that educational purposes means this is a broad general statement about what the research says or what someone, like many people's experiences have shown, but your situation with your specific things that pop up might change the direction of how I would respond as your therapist. And so again, YouTube, social media, any of that, none of it is therapy. You have to be in the room or virtual with your own therapist, licensed in your own state, in order to really get a better understanding of your particular situation. So that is my long disclaimer. I hope that you will still ask questions if they come up for you, and I will post more content based on the questions that y'all ask.